In the modern world of demolition and construction, one mantra reigns supreme. If it can't be measured, it can't be managed. It's the pulse of every site, the backbone of every tender, and the framework upon which our entire industry is built. We are a sector obsessed with the quantifiable. From the moment a project is a mere twinkle in a developer's eye, the measuring tapes and the spreadsheets are out. We live by the metric and we breathe the data point. Consider the life cycle of a standard demolition project. Long before the first high reach excavator arrives, the measure and manage machine is in full swing. Estimators calculate the precise number of bricks to be reclaimed, the tonnage of steel that might be salvaged, and the exact volume of reinforced concrete to be crushed. Project managers determine the necessary headcount, specific plant machinery, and the litres of fuel required to keep the site humming. We measure the success rate of our bids, the accuracy of our pre-contract estimates, and the real-time productivity of every bucket load. In the modern age, this digital scrutiny has reached fever pitch. We now measure what was once invisible. Sensors on the site boundary beam real-time data to stakeholders, tracking decibels, vibration levels, and particulate matter. We monitor the carbon footprint of our supply chains and the social value we bring to local communities. At the end of the fiscal year, we hold up our balance sheets, measuring our growth against last year's performance and our standing against our fiercest rivals. We are the masters of the measurable. But are we measuring the things that actually matter the most? While we track the wear and tear on an excavator's undercarriage, how often do we truly measure the physical toll on human beings operating them? Our industry is one of the most physically demanding on the planet. We acknowledge the risk of accidents, but we rarely quantify the slow, grinding erosion of the human body. The degradation of a worker isn't as easy to track as a telematics report on a dozer. We see the success of a project delivered on time, but we ignore the long-term impact of repetitive strain, the cumulative effect of inhaling permissible dust over 20 years, or the cardiovascular cost of extreme fatigue. We manage maintenance schedules to eliminate unplanned downtime on our equipment, yet the workforce is often expected to simply power through until they break. By failing to measure the baseline health of our staff, we're failing to manage the industry's most valuable asset. If we can't measure the physical half-life of a ground worker or a top man, how can we claim to manage our human resources with any degree of integrity? Fatigue is probably the most dangerous unmanaged variable in our entire industry. It's a debilitating force that affects cognitive function, reaction times, and emotional regulation. We wouldn't dream of operating a machine with a faulty hydraulic system, yet we regularly manage sites staffed by men and women who are mentally redlining due to exhaustion. But perhaps the most glaring omission in our industry-wide audit is the impact on the home front. Demolition and construction are, by their nature, nomadic professions. Projects are often far from home, requiring workers to live in digs, caravans, or hotel rooms for weeks, months, or even years at a time. What is the measurement of a missed bedtime story for a child? What is the metric for the strain placed on a marriage by perpetual absence, or the impact on children who see their fathers only at the weekend? We talk about social value in our tenders, but we ignore the social deficit we create in the families of our own employees. The spouses, partners, and children of our workforce are the silent, underserved stakeholders of every single project. Their well-being is intrinsically linked to the success of the industry, yet their struggles remain entirely uncalculated. And until we acknowledge and account for the domestic toll, our management of the workforce will remain fundamentally flawed. It's time for the industry to broaden its definition of a metric. If we can track the fuel consumption of a generator to the second decimal point, we can surely find ways to monitor the holistic health of our people. A worker at the end of the day who is physically fit, mentally resilient, and supported at home is, by every measurable standard, more productive, more safety conscious, and more loyal. Our current balance sheet is incomplete. We're tracking the concrete, the steel, the carbon, and the cash, but we're losing sight of the flesh and blood. We're managing the project, but neglecting the people that make it happen. If we truly want this industry to be fit for the future, we need to apply an analytical rigor to the human element. We need to stop treating the health, minds, and families of our workers as an afterthought and start treating them as a core KPI. We need to acknowledge that the silence of a struggling worker is a data point in itself, one that indicates a failure of management. We've got the tools, we've got the technology. We just need to remember that the most critical components on any site don't have serial numbers. They have names, families, they have breaking points. It's time to bring the same level of scrutiny to our people as we do to our equipment, because in the end, that mantra remains true. If it can't be measured, it can't be managed.